The new premium sound system from Harley Davidson. A totally integrated system that features AM, FM, a weather band, full logic cassette deck, and a CB intercom. All of these systems are integrated in a single chassis, meaning less hardware and fewer interconnections. This model has a new integrated amplifier section which boasts 40 watts of power, maximum to each speaker. A single large LCD display which allows simultaneous displays of the radio, CB channels, and time. An input for a portable CD player selectable by the mode switch on the handlebars. The cassette deck features include electronic soft load, eject, and auto reverse. If the power to the deck is turned off either by the ignition or power switch, the pinch roller releases its pressure on the tape and capstan, ensuring a longer life for your favorite tape and the deck itself. The deck also has a programmed reminder to let you know when it's time to clean the tape heads. This program will be divided into 3 sections. The first 2 sections will demonstrate features that are available on all radio-equipped touring models. The last section will cover features of the Ultra and Road Glide models. Before we begin with setting the time on the receiver, let's discuss the functions of the front panel controls. 4 buttons on the top of the receiver have dual functions. The primary function of the first 4 are preset memory switches for the AM, FM, and weather bands. The secondary feature of each switch are as follows. The one labeled Pro is the program switch button for the cassette deck. The button with the hours abbreviation is the hours set button for the clock. The next button is used to set the minutes for the clock. The 5th button selects the mode for radio tuning. The tuning modes are manual, seek, or scan. When the tape deck is being used, this button selects the tape fast wind modes. The last 3 buttons on the panel are tape eject, local distance switch for the radio, CB, and the power switch. Now that we made you familiar with some of the controls, let's show you how to set the clock. With the ignition switch on and the radio off, push the hours set button. Momentarily, pushing the button increment the hours one at a time. Holding the button down will cause the hours to increment until the button is released. Next, move over to push the 3rd button in order to set the minutes. This button increments the digits in the same way as the hours button. Once the proper time is set, release either one of the buttons and you're done. In this next section, we'll demonstrate how to store the radio frequencies of AM, FM, and the weather band. The radio must be on and set at the station you want in the memory. Press and hold one of the 4 preset buttons. The audio will be muted, and when the station is memorized, the audio returns. This procedure is the same for the other 2 bands as well. After you have your station stored in memory, just a quick push of the selected preset button will automatically tune the stored frequency for the selected band. Now that the clock and station presets have been set, let's cover the other features the unit has to offer. The Classic, Ultra, and Road Glide have handlebar switches that control the sound system. The right handlebar has the mode select switch. Pushing the switch in momentarily will switch the radio between the AM, FM, weather band, and tape mode. The CD mode is accessible only when the connection cable from a portable CD player is plugged in the CD input jack. The LCD display will indicate the band or mode that is selected. Pushing the switch up momentarily will cause the radio frequencies to increment up one at a time. Holding the switch up will cause the frequencies to continuously move up the frequency scale. Similarly, pushing the switch down momentarily will cause the radio to decrement one step at a time. Hold the switch down and the frequencies will decrement continuously until the switch is released. The audio switch controls volume, tone, and on the Ultra models, a fader that adjusts the volume between the front and rear speakers. Press the audio control switch in. After a delay of 3 seconds, the radio will sequence between volume, bass, treble, and fader. The LCD display will indicate the function selected. Moving the switch upwards raises the volume or increases the tone, and adjusts the fader to the front speakers. Moving it downwards decreases the volume or tone and moves the fader to the rear speakers. These levels are indicated on the LCD display. If the audio control switch is left on any function other than volume, the function automatically reverts back to volume after approximately 3 seconds. The receiver has 3 modes of tuning, which are manual, seek, and scan. These are activated by this button on the front panel. Press the button until seek appears in the LCD display. Pushing the mode switch in an up or downward direction will tune the next strongest station on either end of the frequency scale. Push the SE/SC button again so that the scan appears in the LCD display. The mode switch is used in the same way, only now each station remains tuned in for approximately 10 seconds before the receiver moves on to the next station. Press the mode switch a second time, either up or down, depending on which direction the scan is moving, to cancel this function. Next, we'll cover some of the operational features of the tape deck. The tape deck has an auto-load feature which pulls the cassette into the player and loads it in its playing position. The currently selected side will be shown on the LCD display. The tape deck has an auto-reverse, but the side may also be changed manually by pushing the program button. The tape may be fast-forwarded or rewound in 3 modes: manual, seek, and scan. The SE/SC button selects which one of these functions can be used. When you press this button, the word seek will appear on the display. Continue pressing the button to sequence through the other modes. The LCD display appears blank when the fast wind operation is in the manual mode. Pushing the mode select switch upward will place the tape deck in the fast forward mode. This will be indicated on the LCD display. Pushing the switch upward a second time will cancel this operation. Likewise, pushing the switch downward will place the deck in the rewind mode. When the deck is in the seek mode, pushing the mode switch upward will fast forward the tape to the next selection and playback is automatically resumed. Pushing the switch downward will rewind the tape to the beginning of the current selection. The scan mode allows the user to fast forward to the next selection where it will play for 10 seconds and then sequence to the next selection, repeating this operation. Pressing the mode switch down will rewind the tape to the beginning of a current selection. Play for 10 seconds, and then rewind to the previous selection. Similarly, pushing the mode switch up or down a second time will cancel each of these operations. The next section will cover additional features that are incorporated on the Ultra and Road Glide models. The Road Glide model will need additional accessories to upgrade the system for the CB and intercom. These will be available from your local dealer. All of the components for the CB intercom are combined in the receiver. The pod on the gas tank basically houses the on-off switches for the CB, intercom, and the front headset receptacle. The intercom uses a voice-activated microphone, or VOX, for clear transmission and hands-free operation. To activate the intercom system and enable the VOX, push on the switch on the left side of the console. The switch will light up and VOX will appear on the LCD display. The system will begin in the setup mode when it is first activated. Use the mode select switch to adjust the VOX and microphone level. Pushing the switch up makes the microphone more sensitive. If the microphone activates periodically without conversation, it is set too high and it is activated by road or background noise. Press the mode switch down to reduce the mic's sensitivity. The LCD panel on the receiver indicates the VOX sensitivity. The higher the number, the greater the sensitivity. The front and rear intercom volume can be adjusted using the front or rear audio control switches. This can only be done when the intercom is in the setup mode. To exit the setup mode, press the mode select switch once. To activate the CB, press the rocker switch one step forward until the light in the switch illuminates and CB appears on the LCD panel. The system comes up in the setup mode when it is enabled. The squelch level, channel number, and CB volume are set in this mode. The radio is muted to allow easy setting of the squelch level. Adjust the squelch with the PTT squelch control switch on the left handlebar. Move the switch back towards the rear to lower the squelch. This will allow the weaker CB signals to be received. To raise the squelch level, push the switch towards the front of the bike to allow only the stronger signals to be received. The audio control switch is used to adjust the volume of the CB and is only adjusted when the squelch is broken. The CB channel selection can only be made in the setup mode. This is done using the mode select switch. Push the switch upward or downward to change the CB channel. This switch functions the same in the AM and FM mode. Exit the setup mode by pushing the mode switch. After you exit the setup mode, the CB will be heard at the level adjusted in the setup mode. CB volume is adjustable in the headsets and speakers when the squelch is broken, even when out of the setup mode. If any new adjustments have to be made to either the intercom or CB, momentarily push the rocker switches forward on the console and the setup mode will be reactivated. When the adjustments have been made, push the mode switch in to return to normal operation. The local distance switch is used for AM, FM, weather band, and CB sensitivity. The local position will reduce the sensitivity of the receiver, while in the distant mode, the sensitivity is increased. Another feature of this new system is the ability to have multiple audio routing and mixing combinations. The routing and mixing combinations depend on the selection position of the speaker control switch and the intercom CB switches. Let's start with the switch in the speaker position. When both the CB and the radio are on, the audio will be heard through the front and rear speakers. When the CB unsquelches, the CB will break into the music. If the intercom system is used with the switch in the speaker position, conversation can only be heard in the headset. Place the switch in its center position. This will route the music through the speakers. The intercom or CB will only be heard through the headset. Any break from the CB or intercom will not interfere with the music coming out of the speakers if the music volume is set properly. This music level can be readjusted during the break. Pushing the switch all the way forward allows the music, CB, and intercom to be heard only in the headsets. Volume for each of these sources can be set to independent levels, which is done in the setup mode. Another feature of the new system is the ability to hear the radio audio in the background during the intercom operation in the headsets. The system also allows the radio audio to continue on the external speakers when the headsets are used for CB reception or intercom conversations. The volume of the background audio can be reduced from normal volume to the point of being completely muted by lowering the volume using the audio switch. When you are speaking over the intercom, you simply use the handlebar audio switch to lower the volume to the desired level. When the speaker switch is in the center position, this feature will allow the volume of the radio from the external speakers to be adjusted when using the intercom or receiving a CB transmission in the same manner. The radio volume will return to its original level as soon as the CB transmission or intercom conversation ends. It is important to adjust this level when using the headsets for both radio audio and intercom. If not adjusted, the volume of the radio may be the same as the volume of the intercom and interfere with your conversations. Ultra and accessorized Road Glide models have rear passenger controls built into the right and left side of the rear speaker enclosures. The right side has the PTT and volume control. Pushing this switch in allows the passenger to transmit over the CB or intercom. Moving the volume control either up or down, adjust the volume in the headsets only. The LCD display will indicate that the rear volume is being adjusted. The handlebar volume control used in conjunction with the fader option affects both the front and the rear speaker volume. The mode select switch gives the passenger control of stereo receiver tuning, radio band selection, and tape fast wind operations. This program should give you an overview on how to operate the many different features of the Harley-Davidson premium sound system. It is not all-encompassing, and detailed operations are covered further in your sound system operator's manual.